Yeah, awesome, awesome, awesome. Hello everyone. Hello, 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 and hello. I'm Adebayo, the head of research and operations from EAZY-DIGI. Great. So I'd like to start by welcoming you to this conference. So here is our virtual educators conference. We started this year. We started January, and then every month we're meeting every month, and every month we had a number of speakers, a number of experts, educators across the globe come around, and then we're looking at some pressing issues, as regarding education and what education should look like, and things that needs to be on the spotlight, issues that are trending in the education global education landscape, and how that everyone needs to be aware, and everyone needs to follow suit. So we've been doing that all the way this year. Our vision for this year is reinventing school. So at EasyDG, our vision is to reinvent school. We've seen that school is not what it's supposed to be, in Nigeria, in Africa, in so many places across the globe. So we're reinventing school, and so we've been addressing it from different perspectives. And all the way from January, we've been listening to the educators. We've been listening to experts. The last one we had, in July was the PBL festival. That's the biggest we've ever had. We had like about a lot of projects, being presented by various experts, sharing with us what they're doing, and how amazing project-based learning can be. And it was really awesome. It was really awesome. It was a nice. It was so inspirational. It was so transformational as well. It was quite awesome. It was a great time. If you missed that event, you could check our YouTube. You'll find it there, and catch some inspiration. It's very crucial. And so this time around, strategically, a lot of schools are preparing for the new school year. So this is a kind of period of preparation, and it's a time again to reevaluate and to look at what we're doing, and be sure that we're about to get into something new, and we're doing it the right way. Okay. And then we decided to have a learners edition this time around. Like, so we want to listen to the learners. Um, we believe at EasyDigi that an inclusive learning environment, it truly, we see many lies everywhere. People say they have this kind of system. When you get in, you see they don't have it. A truly inclusive learning environment pays attention to the voice of the learners. All right. Learning cannot just be designed for them, it has to be designed with them. We have seen how uh, other industries have influenced education gradually and gradually and gradually. And we've seen this alignment in the school with industrial demands over and over and over time. So when a time right now where school has to exist for the industries, so there has to be an industrial alignment. And part of what we see is the fact that is the need in the market that determines the product. Right. So if you're going to design any product, it has to be based on the needs in the market. So you have to look into the market. You have to see, okay, there is this need. How do we design a need that's practically going to solve this problem? So in the same vein, you want to create learning experiences for these kids. You have to look into them and really understand that you are giving everyone the right thing. Everyone must have a personalized learning experience that is just for them. Everyone must be in that place where they can freely find expression, and then they just have the best. So listening and paying attention to our learners is very crucial. I don't care whatever school it is, if learners are not listened to, if the learning is not designed with them, then that is truly not inclusive. We need to listen to our learners feedback, have learners conference, listen to them, get to know if they're enjoying the whole thing, get to know if they are expressive, they're enjoying the atmosphere, get to know if the whole thing fits them. And that's what we're doing. We're doing this to show an example, okay, to what school should look like even now, even now. So this is going to be an awesome time. We have our speakers already. um, we have Tshiamo from Botswana. We have Jake from Colorado, and then we have Ryan. Okay, okay. Tshiamo and Jake are in the studio. I'm just gonna say hello to them, and then we'll kick off and get into the session. So the question we're going to be asking our guests is, what should school look like? They are K-12 learners and graduates, and they're going to be telling us what they think school should look like. What kind of school do they want to have? Do they want to have? Because if we're truly going to have a correct and an accurate school design, it has to be based on what the learners want. They must be listened to. Okay, quick one. I'm just gonna say hello to our guest on the show today. Um, Jakes, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you great. Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Awesome, awesome. You're the best. Okay, so Jakes, thank you for joining us. Thank you for sharing your time with us. Thank you so much. That's a lot. Okay, so let me say hello to Tshiamo too, and then we'll just roll in. Tshiamo, can you hear me?
Hi, I can hear you.
Okay, great. Would you like to turn on your video?
Okay, I will do that just right now.
Okay, great. Shiamo, you're welcome. Yes, so Shiamo, I got your question. Shiamo. The bit.ly/gddy is for the audience. So you can share bit.ly
Oh,
slash
okay.
gddy with the audience. Yeah, so they can watch us from YouTube and they can
To the
also
audience.
participate from YouTube. Yeah, to the audience. Yeah,
Oh,
that's for
okay.
the audience.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
why the customized one is for just the studio. Yeah, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Jake, you can also share the bit.ly. Okay, I'm gonna let me try to put it on the screen. I think I should have it here.
Are you using the Wi-Fi right now?
Yes, so that you can okay. Yeah, so here is it. It's on the screen. Yeah, so you can share the link with your friends and everyone around, so they can just connect and they can get on and watch this conversation. Okay, great. So Shiamo, I'm waiting for you to turn on your video. We do hope to receive Ryan in the studio too. Possible? I'm sure she's trying to connect already. Okay, great. So we're just gonna get into this, and we're gonna start with Jake. Um, Jake is amazing. So Jake is wonderful. Just a moment, Jake. I want to put this right now in the studio and be sure that we have a side by side experience. Awesome. Yeah, exactly. That's what it should look like. Okay, yeah. Jake, can you hear me very well? Can you hear me clearly?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Awesome, great. So I remember the first time I just met you on LinkedIn, and we were discussing, and then when I saw that you were from your profile, you wanted to spark an innovation in education. That took my interest, and I was like, wow, this is great. And then I saw that we have a lot of young people right now who are saying we don't like what school looks like. We want to have another kind of school. We don't like what school looks like. And then I see that in everything you put up over there. All right, we're excited to have Jake on the show. This moment, I'm going to hand over to Jake, and Jake is going to take us on a journey, and tell us what school should look like, the kind of school that he would like to see, and the kind of education that every kid out there should have. So Jake, right now, I'm going to hand over to you right now. All right, so I'm going to stay behind the scene, and I'm just going to hand over to you right now. Is that okay?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Great.
Yeah, guys. Well, thanks for having me today. I think that's it's a blessing to be able to, combine with other cultures and diversity and really have those opinions and voices, and really draw from the best of all those traditions to really ignite the most change, especially in education. So I'm really happy to be here today. What should school look like? That's a really interesting question, and it's one that is asked a lot. Actually, the issue is it's not asked to our students. And so I think it's crucial that we have each and every one of our students in all schools around the world really answer this question to the best of their abilities, because kids do want change in their schools. They just don't have that platform to speak openly about it, right? In a regular school, someone will say something that a teacher doesn't like, and the teacher will discipline them, and it's not appropriate, because as a student we need actual voice. So I think really what school should look like is In the most simplest terms, it should be igniting change on a global, you know, creating kids who ignite change on a global scale. So I think that involves a curriculum change, right? In most countries around the world, we have mathematics, history, humanities, reading, and science. I think I said those already, but those four things really should be taken as electives. As an aspiring actor or model, you wouldn't want to take trigonometry. It's just not feasible, right? So I think it's crucial that we create a curriculum that is really creating and making people and young people who are really ready and passionate to make real change in the world, the change they want to see. So, I think that curriculum involves four core subjects. I think it's psychology, philosophy, communications, and health. Those four subjects, to me, I believe, breed kids to identify their passion, and find their purpose and ignite change, like I've been saying, on a global scale, which is what our world needs to see today. So, I think conversations like this are the first step, really to creating change and really giving that student a voice. I think that's crucial.
Awesome, awesome. That's amazing. That's amazing. So I put it down. Creating kids to ignite change on a global scale. On a global scale, creating kids to ignite change on a global scale. So right now, any school that's not seeing this, any school that is not working out towards this, is really not doing the best. I was saying few weeks ago, just speaking about Nigeria. If every school becomes bent on raising problem solvers, in our future, we'll have less problems and more solution. And this is just like what you're saying, creating kids to ignite change on a global change. So the success of a school system, of an education system, is to make sure that at the end of the day, they don't just produce kids that have grades, but ignite change on a global. So, Jake, tell me, how do you think? What do you think can be done or should be done to make this happen?
Well, it's interesting. There's a lot being done right now at this point in time. I think the issue is that people are kind of staying inside the box versus outside the box. And what I mean by that is they are really kind of looking at how can we innovate education within the system right now, kind of with the knowledge that, hey, it's probably not going to change. Why try to change it ourselves? I think we really need to think outside the box and think, okay, well, let's start with a blank canvas, a blank sheet of paper, and let's start thinking of ideas, right? Like let's recreate education as we know it. So I think, like I said before, those four curriculum choices, I think, psychology, philosophy, communications, and health. I believe those should outrule like the mathematics, science, reading, and humanities. That to me is something that's really, really tough, specifically, especially in the US, because colleges require all four of those traditional classes to go to college. And most high schools at this point, from a professional standpoint, are trying to get as many kids into the best colleges as possible so that they look good. Online or whatever, wherever you look at it. So and so when I bring that up, I think really what I'm trying to say is our schools need to be less about kind of their bottom line doesn't need to be money. It needs to be like I said, kind of equipping kids with the tools they need to really impact change. And so it's a tough situation to navigate, especially at this point, because a lot of schools don't have the resources. It requires resources to hire teachers, hire the best teachers. It requires a lot of engaging environments to, to equip the classroom with tools that students need, really to think deeply and think outside of the box. All these things cost money, right? So I think a lot of people jump quickly to the conclusion that yes, we need change. Everyone can see that. If you've stepped foot in a high school or a middle school, you know that we need change everywhere. I think the resources are a problem. So the question is, how can we get resources as an individual school and around the world? I think that's what educators need to look for. Right, we have the ideas. Now we need to get the resources to do so. That's how we really take action and execute.
Amazing, amazing. So I like it when you talk about the money aspect. Well, I know that's something controversial. Trying to strike a balance between school is a profit and the profit, and then Yeah, but then there just must be a balance. There just must be a balance between the business side of school and then the part of really producing change agents, really raising kids who are going to cause change, who are going to solve problems, who are going to solve real problems. For me, I'm tired of paper problems. Many
Mm,
schools are just focused, just doing paper problems. They don't get into real problems. They're just
right.
doing all and all of paper problems. So schools have to really get into solving real problems. At the end of the day, it's not going to be about. Recently I've been seeing everywhere. People celebrating grades. Some kids who just got their GCSE result, IGCSE result, and oh, they've got the A's and everything. And, I was just thinking in my mind that would it not have been nice if what we're celebrating is that after these kids have graduated, they've been able to solve a number of problems. They've been able to look into their community. They've been able to do something that is relevant, something that has value to the immediate community and to the world at large. It just got into my. I'm like, why? Fine, of course they've passed the exams. Why don't we just bend and just ensure that we're doing the right thing? It really bothers me a lot. Okay, so Jake, tell me, I know you're currently in a school right now, right? You're currently in a school. You are, let me not assume you are in year 9, right? Or so.
Yeah. So I'm going into my sophomore year in high school. So I currently go to school in the U.S. For me, it's a great experience. It really is. I have a different kind of schooling than most kids do, in that my high school has 75 kids in the entire school. That's awesome for a large scale of reasons. Number one, it's the connection with teachers, right? I have the
Mm,
ability to
mm,
talk to teachers at any time. They have the ability to come to me.
mm,
There's 4 kids per class, which means that every
mm,
kid gets the individual attention they need. And that's something that, in a perfect world, we'd love to see in public schools. Like I said before, that resource part is crucial though, because we need teachers. We need enough teachers to equip with schools with, to put them in a place where, yeah, they can teach 5 kids at a time. But that's a really tough reality to come by, and so I hope that someday that'll be a possibility. But for now, I enjoy those benefits for myself, and like I said before, I'm really blessed to have that opportunity to connect, in sometimes one-to-one classes. I think that individual attention is really, really, really important. I think I thrive off it. I think most kids would. So I'm really excited to kind of explore and discover how that'll work for other kids. I think if we implement that into schools, like I said, it's definitely tough, but it is doable. And once we do, the sky's the limit.
yeah, great. So I like the fact that you talk about individual attention. Yeah, that's very critical. There are kids in schools who are not happy. They're not happy because they don't get the attention they need. The whole learning is not differentiated, it's not inclusive, it's not personalized, it's not done to a large extent. So at the end of the day, you see some kids have the A's, some get the B's, the C's, the D's. They want everyone to learn the same thing at the same time, at the same pace, for the same period of time. It's just not going to work. It's just not going to work. It's not going to work. So, Jakes, tell me some more interesting thing about your school rather, that you think should be, happening everywhere in every school right now.
So the other thing I would say, and this isn't something that should be in every school, but let's start with looking at how we can consider teachers and students one of the same. We're all human beings. We all want the best for ourselves, for our community. And at Middlebridge School, which is the school I go to right now, we do just that. It's a wonderful community where I could approach any teacher at any given time. We could talk about whatever we want, right? And there's 2 reasons for that. One, the students are very passionate. We're very open. We're willing to talk about whatever needs to be said. I think that's something that's not found in every school. It's something that needs to be found in most schools, that openness to discuss your opinions and the kind of atmosphere that allows you to do that. And then secondly, the teachers are outstanding. Teachers who aren't there for the pay scale, but are there because they are passionate about changing young people's
Mm,
lives. So
mm,
when we can get more, teachers like that, like I said before, the sky's the limit. And I think right now, in the U.S. especially, there's an awareness that if you are in teaching for the money, it's probably not the profession for you, right? You're not going to get. You could probably make more being a bartender. I think the people who are staying in education in the United States I think the people who are staying in education in the United States are doing so because they're passionate about changing young people's lives for the better. So I think in the United States we're on a really good pace right now, not just in my school, but in the country. And like I said before, I think awareness is the number one thing that we need, really to go further in this. And I think we built that.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. I like the fact that you talk about this right now. So we need educators, we need teachers. Okay, if I would say now, who are willing to listen. Not for the pay scale, but for the passion. I like the fact that you talk about
Mm.
that. Teachers who are really passionate, who are really interested in every child that they get to meet. Teachers who are very careful, who see every child in their care as a potential innovator, as a potential
Hmm.
global change maker, and then who are very careful, to ensure that every child in their care gets the best. I like the fact that you talk about that. Like you said, well, I like the fact that you talk about the awareness in America right now. That if you just do this because of the pay scale, then you better go get something else. That's great. That's amazing. That's amazing. And we look forward to see that in every school across the globe. That we're gonna have educators who are very passionate about every kid in their care. That's awesome and that's amazing. Thank you so much, Jake. It's been an amazing and awesome time with you. Thank you for sharing all of this inside with us. Thank you for sharing your experience over there in your school with us. And you've got a wonderful school right there. I love that. You've got a wonderful school.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. Okay, so Jake, one final word from you. One final, give us a final or something final you like to say before I jump on the next speaker. One more thing you like to say.
I would say one more thing that I would like to say, in terms of this conversation here and this platform. I think it's really really important that we continue to have these conversations. It's one thing to have them with other kids in our city, in our
Mm,
town, in our state, in our country, but when we collaborate
mm,
as a global network of people who want the same goal, that's really really powerful, right? To draw from traditions around the globe. And to use those traditions to draw from the best of those traditions and add them to schools, with the goal of creating the best education experience possible for our young people. Um, so I think when we do that, when we create that community where everyone's voice is heard around the globe, um, I would say there's no limit to how far our education system can go. So thanks for having me. It's been an awesome time talking with you, and I hope we continue to have more conversations like this one. So thank you so much.
Great, great. Thank you for saying this. And I remember at the beginning of the conversation, you said something. You said many kids are tired of school. They want something new, but they just don't have the platform. All right. I want to assure you that at EAZY-DIGI, we're going to continue to keep having this kind of conversations. We're going to continue to keep having this kind of where kids, where K-12 learners have a place to air their voice. We're gonna keep creating that platform. Trust me, trust me. We're gonna keep working on that. We're gonna keep creating the platform. We're gonna keep having these conversations again and again, over and over. But thank you once again for your time, Jakes. And please hang around. We might still get into some things afterwards.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Yeah, yeah, great. Okay, so who do we have here? We've got Tshiamo. Tshiamo, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I can hear you right now.
Amazing, 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 amazing. That's awesome. Amazing. Thanks for connecting. Thanks for joining us in this conference. We're excited to have you. So I remember the first interview we had together. Tshiamo is from Botswana. Tshiamo is doing amazing things in Botswana. I remember the first interview we had, and excited at your passion. To volunteer, to stay, and to work with, and kids webinars just after leaving your year 12, and to ensure that they have a powerful STEM experience, and that they get inspired and they become problem solvers. I was really so excited to see that when we got talking about that, and I want to say thank you for doing that. Thank you for doing that. There are many people that finish their secondary level, and they're not thinking in that direction. They're not thinking in the direction of adding value to their community, but you chose that path, and you are an inspiration. Yeah, thank you for doing that. Okay, so Shiabo, once again, you're welcome. So I'm just gonna get into you right now, and then yeah. So next few minutes we're gonna be discussing. We're gonna be rubbing minds together. So Shiamo, this is about what should school look like.
Yeah.
So you have a number of things to say. You have a number of things to say. You told me a little about them the last time we were discussing, and I was like, yeah, that's great. That we've got learners that are tired of the current school system, that want something new. They are them tired of the system and want something new that fix them and that will help them to be their best. All right, so Shiamo is going to hand over to you now, and it's about what should school look like. All right, so I'm going to get behind the stage. I'm going to keep I'm going to keep popping into you. And we're going to keep discussing.
Okay. Okay. No problem.
Yeah.
Okay. Good day, everybody. My name is Tshiamo. Like Abuja said, I'm from Botswana, and what should school look like to me? Well, I for one believe that school is a process whereby somebody should be learning. School is a learning experience. School is a place whereby you should go to actually have information to learn, not only in the classroom but outside, inside the school setup. So I believe that school should be a place, whereby students are given a chance to collaborate, whereby students are given a chance to be in the driver's seat. Hey, nobody wants to come in and just sit down, listen to a teacher, share what he or she knows. School should be more engaging, and school should be more interactive. School should be something whereby when I want to go in the morning, I'm actually eager to go to school. But that's not the case with the current schooling situation. You may tell other people actually want to go to school, but they get bored easily. Okay? In my own view, I feel like there are very key points that you should understand before dwelling much in how school is, what schooling is, and what learning is. Okay? And learning is a very wonderful experience. Everyone wants to learn, everyone should be learning each and every single day. But the way school is set, it makes us as students, don't want to learn because of the approach at which the learning is brought forward to us. So I would say my perfect school or my perfect school environment is one whereby I can actually collaborate with people like me, where I can actually engage, help teachers who actually giving me the platform to shine, giving me the platform to make mistakes and learn. Normally, from an African or Botswana culture, we do not teach children, we teach them not to fail. But I think that's one thing where we are losing it. Because if you're teaching me not to fail, you're not giving me the platform to grow. You understand? I feel like school should be giving us platforms whereby one, collaboration is very important. We as students should be able to collaborate. We should be able to come together with peers and sit down and say, okay, we have a problem here. How can we tackle this? Having a variety of ideas around you helps you adopt and appreciate other people's way of thinking. And that on its own, you actually grow more interpersonal skills. Okay? I also believe that school should be a place whereby the teacher is not more than just an education provider or giving me education. The teacher should engage with me. Hey, even the setup on its own at which this teacher brings in the information should change. I want to be in a science class, I would say. Around me, I would see scientific equations. The environment, the physical environment should be one that's appetizing. Hey, I should be able to play around with chemicals to say, okay, what if I mix this chemical and this chemical? But the teacher will say, no, please don't do that. It's not good for you. Hey, and give me the guidance as to what to do, right? But the whole learning process should be me taking control. It should be me spearheading everything around the schooling environment. I'll give an example from my old school, St. Joseph's College. St. Joseph's College for the past 9 years has been one of the best schools in my country. And it has been a matter of the approach at which the school does. The school gives you the platform as a child to grow. You're exposed to so many things. But I feel like being exposed to so many things should also have a limit, hey? To say we cannot be having many different things doing me. It's training for me as a student to wake up every day in the morning to and know that, okay, fine. I have my chemistry, I have my biology, I have my physics, I have my math, I have my ed math, I have my accounting. There's so much that's wanted from us as students. So I feel like school should be specific, school should be custom made to meet the needs of each and every student. Okay? I'll take myself for instance. I would say maybe I'm not doing so much well in my math, but I do have a stronger side, maybe on my social sciences, my accounting, my geography. I should delve much more into what is working for me, and my teacher should be there to give me the platform where I can actually grow. You know, it's very nice when you are specializing, or when you are putting more of your effort in what you know you're strong. It's very good that we have a foundation where we're exposed to so many things, so many skills. Give me Monday, let's teach me about agricultural sector. Tuesday, teach me about this. Go to expose me to so many things. But that's very, very essential at a foundation stage, whereby I don't know what I want yet. But when I get to my high school, I should be in a stage whereby I now know what I want to do, because I have been exposed to so many things from a young age. So it's very critical that when the school system is being made, the exposure should be there at a very, very young age. There's no use of exposing someone to so many things at an older age. That's the time whereby you should be now putting your efforts and your energies into something that you know that you have been doing well for the past few years. So it's very, very essential that you give the students are given exposure as an AA. I would have loved it when I was introduced to robotics at maybe my primary school. I would have loved it when I was introduced to finance. You give the foundation that when I get to a certain age or a certain level in education, I can dwell much into what I know I'm stronger at. And that way it's saving us as students so much time and money. And nowadays school is not so much inclusive, in the sense that it's now taking out certain kids. I'll take for example my kids. They would say that if you're not doing well in your sciences, then you're not doing well, which I personally believe is not true, because you have so many things that you can do instead of doing your sciences. If you're good in your art, then be it. So school should also give me a chance as an art person to actually grow, okay, to actually express my art. They should give me ways of actually making my art economical, making my art into something that I can use to sustain my life. We should not School should not be a place whereby we are stereotyping to say this is the right path I should take. There's so many ways of killing a cat. And I believe school should actually teach that thing more, to say, you know what? At the end of the day, we all want to be successful. At the end of the day, we all want to get somewhere in life. Okay? At the end of the day, we want to move from point A to point B. So it's very essential that for school creates that environment. That whereby if I want to do my art, I can go to the art lab, start painting. If I'm, part of the creative art, I'll go to the hall, start my acting, start my music from a very, very, very young age. Because giving us exposure at a very early age it's good for the foundation. Okay? And I'll now look into other activities in the schooling, into school setup that are also part of your growth or part of the learning process. You have your sports. Sports for once is something that's seen as an extracurricular activity, but I do tend to differ. If you believe that you have that learning sport, then the learning should be designed in a way that it can accommodate you as a sport person. Okay? There's nothing that's paining, that's frustrating, because you are doing that, you're doing well and exceptionally well in that one particular subject. But every single day, teachers are there, telling you, but you're not doing well in a subject, like you're doing a part of attitude. But they expect us to shine in different ways, in a vast different platforms. It's good at a foundation age, but as we are growing older, I think we should adopt more of specialization in the learner. And that can only be done if we are given the foundation and the exposure at a very young age.
Awesome, 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 awesome. So much you've got there, Shiamo. And one thing I picked from what you said at the beginning is the fact that school should be a place where learners come to collaborate.
Yes, yes,
Right?
yes.
It should be a place. School is not a place for teachers to come and shine.
Thank you.
for teachers to come and take the stage and just be there, keep talking, keep instructing, keep, you
Mm-hmm.
know, the learners are not just vessels to be filled, empty vessels to be filled,
Yes.
when they also have the capacity to create knowledge, they can
Mm-hmm.
create experiences. Their school is not a place that should be so rigid and then
Mm-hmm.
just come and fit in, just come, we have
Yes.
designed it, that's awesome. So we're seeing that um, the real school is the one that really pays attention to the learners, that is designed not just for whatever purpose, but practically designed for the learners to cater for their differences, an environment that honors their uniqueness, that honors
Mm-hmm.
the uniqueness of every child. Every child is a genius in one way or the other.
It's a
Every child
genius. Yes.
has got
Mm-hmm.
something to, and I like it when you say that, a place where we can shine, where learners can shine. All right, they are there to explore, to manifest their potentials. All right, so it's not a place to just sit down and write notes and just solve paper problems every now and then. Just solve the paper problems, you turn it in, and that experience, it's not a place to sit up. In a place where learners can get inspired, a place where they can handle real stuffs, a place where they can get to do a lot of work, and how they can, and at the later part, I like it when you began to mention the fact that school should become more diversified.
Yes.
So in the sense that the school is careful to understand every child in their care and design the learning in such a way that every child has a personalized experience that helps them to maximize their potentials. And at the end of the day, there can be self-discovery. At the end of the day, there can be self-maximization. There can be every child grows into a place where they find their potentials, and they begin to do something real
Mm.
for a real environment. And then it's not just all about paper stuff, submit paper to paper, to teacher to paper, and the paper things. Yeah, Shiamo, I love the fact that you're saying this. Okay, Shama, I'm going to ask, can you cite some more instances of these creative things happening, and that every school should see out there? Can you some instances of creative learning experiences happening in school where learners are happy and are excited, they're collaborating, and can you share with us some instances?
Yes, yes, yes. Um, I'll give instances, based on my experiences, if it's okay. When doing the Imagine experience with Discovery Traveling Team, the program that we did or that we rolled out was very, very brilliant in the sense that it made project-based learning a reality. You know, I personally saw students taking charge of that learning, so that they would encounter problems, they would solve the problems on their own. They would come to the teacher when they want guidance to say, okay, Tiamo, here's what here's what we know, here's what we thought of, and we are having problems doing one, two, three. How can we help? You see, that way the child managed to use the apps that he had inside the brand, because we did not give them a guide to say you should do this in one, two, three, four, five. We don't do that. We say, find a way of getting there. How you get there was entirely up to them. As long as it's in the parameters, of the research institutions, it's still up to them. And that way it builds. I'll take, for instance, there's the art challenge, whereby it would say, tell a message using your art, right? Art is very diverse. You have your people who draw, people who paint. Art is very diverse. You see a painting that's telling the same message as a song. You see a video telling the same message as that particular painting, but the way in which they were portrayed and excuse me, and the way in which they actually saw the message was very different. But at the end of the day, we managed to achieve what we wanted. It's just a matter of now, as a student, taking the driver's seat, engaging more in this thing called learning and collaborating with other people, that ideas definitely come. Yes, I guess I have answered you quite.
Great, 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 great. Project-based learning. It's
Yes.
no doubt we have seen that Project-based learning is an approach to learning that has become so much needed in our time. In
Yes.
our time, project-based learning has become a leading approach to learning across the globe. That we're seeing that has to become the in thing. Yeah, because project-based learning, creates an atmosphere where learners engage with real problem, real stuffs, and then can the school say they are preparing the kids for reality? Project-based learning creates that atmosphere, where they have to, engage with problems, where they have to sort issues, where they, like you mentioned, where kids have to work on their own. That's reality, because in real life they're going to face problems that they have to sort, they have to solve. In the future, when they get to the, when they get to, when they get their jobs and all of that, they have to engage with real problems, they have to engage with real stuff. So school becomes a place where learners are prepared for reality when things like project-based learning is happening. And I like the fact that, at the Discovery Club, a lot of that is happening. Like, I've had an interview with a number of the kids, and I see what they are doing, and those amazing stuffs. And I'm like, great, great, great. This is what school should look like. There should be a lot of project-based learning. It's
Yes,
very
yes, yes.
crucial. There should be a lot of it.
And
Go ahead, please,
mhm.
go ahead.
Okay, and with project-based learning, from my own experience, is that they are the standards, right? Whereby you create the learning should be aligned to certain standards, which are normally created by the government or whoever is taking part. Okay? Then project-based learning, it also builds a culture. It doesn't just teaches you to pass the test. No, 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 no. The approach at which project-based learning does, sorry, it creates a culture. You know, a culture of critical thinking, a culture of collaboration. It's not just learning to pass the exam. You're
Yeah,
actually gaining
yeah,
something from it. You are gaining skills, and it helps us to manage our activities as a person because obviously when you are on your own, you'd have to make your own plan. Hey, okay, fine. I have 24 hours to do this. How can I manage my time? How can I do this? It's a skill that you are going to use even in the everyday working activity. Okay, and it also elevates as a student. We actually grow as students. Yeah. Then we have the assessment part. You know, it's very funny because assessment for in the current situation, for me to say that I have passed, it's because someone else standard, hey, because the standard says a 60% and above is a pass. But I tend to differ because if yesterday I'll give an example, at a 40%, hey, and then today I'm at a 59, you're going to tell me that I did not pass as a school, right? And it's going to demoralize me. But in actual fact, I have gained. There's something that I've gained from where I was the
yeah,
previous time.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so there's
yeah,
growth in
yeah,
that. But because of the
yeah,
standards
yeah,
that's set in your schooling environment, you actually don't see that growth, or it's not signed as much as it should be. Okay? Then it also gives you a chance to design your book. It's custom made for you. You do things at your own pace. As Tiamo, I know that I'm a very narrative person. I can talk and go on talking. So I would actually know when to express myself, and I know that okay, fine. When it comes to writing, I'm not very good with that, and it gives somebody else in a chance to shine. So you see, collaboration also comes there. So school should just adopt this idea of project-based learning because honestly, it's the future. It's definitely preparing us for the real life situation, for the real life world problem. So yeah.
yeah. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Yeah, thank you for mentioning that. The progress. We have issues. Some schools across the globe now are beginning to, shift into ungrading. Ungrading, they call it ungrading now. They don't use grades. They tell you they are more interested in your progress, like you're talking about right now. Like your,
Yes.
let's see, what's your progress? All right, so
Mm.
we're just interested in you, leading and owning your learning journey and progressing
Yes.
over time. We're here to inspire you, to guide you, to give you the push you need, but you are leading your journey and then you're progressing. So we just want to keep seeing the progress. I'm just saying, yes, you're doing well, you're progressing. And at the end of it, when you've completed your learning journey, we have something to serve as a proof, a digital badge or
Mm.
something that you have completed this learning journey. All right. So it's not, again, what I see is that, the first term, second term, third term, 3 months, you have to finish this. At the end of the day, some kids get the A, some get the C. We still have kids who get C, who get D's, and that shows that for some of them, the time wasn't enough to help them learn the whole thing they should learn. And you know what
Yes,
teachers
yes.
would do? You know what teachers would do? They will just leave them and abandon them.
Mm.
And then
True.
next time again, they're going to start a number of new stuffs. All right.
Mm.
And those kids are just going to, well, also too, they don't bother. Well, since they just give me a one grade and just to say, all right. Whereas it should be an issue of not grading,
Mm.
but an issue of a learning journey, a learning experience. All
Yes.
right, that is being tracked and monitored to keep improving. So here is what you're going to be learning. How do you want to about it? How can you finish? How can you? What can you do? Okay, what do you need?
Yes.
Okay, so just want to make sure that you're progressing over and over and over and over time. Yeah, this is the kind of school that kids want to see today. A
Mm.
place where they are accepted, like you mentioned, where they can make mistakes, where they are accepted for who they are, where their uniqueness is honored, where they can make mistakes, where mistakes are celebrated. Yeah, because of
Mm.
course, every mistake is a product of an attempt, of an effort, where
Yes.
mistakes are celebrated, and we're saying, yeah, keep going, just like you said. Of course,
Mm.
probably because I've moved from D to C, and then you look at me and say I've not passed. I have passed. I have passed because I have moved from one level. So I have just passed a particular point. Aha. I like the fact that you said
Yes.
that. Yeah, yeah, that's it. That's it. And when we do that, learners are excited. They are happy. Why?
Mm.
Because their effort is being appreciated.
Yes.
Every step they make is being celebrated. Every effort is being celebrated. Every step is being appreciated. We're like, keep going, keep going. Don't bother about your colleague. Don't bother about trying to move at their own pace. That's the fight. It's about competition and not collaboration. Don't bother about it. It's don't bother. Just maintain your lane and keep moving your own way at your own pace. And we feel we're going to support you. That's the kind of school we want to see. Honestly, thank you so much, Shiamo, for pointing out these stuffs and for pointing out these things. I must say it's been an awesome time with you. Thank you for what you're doing over there too. Yeah, yeah, great, great, great. Okay, so one final like to tell us before we jump on the next thing.
Mm-hmm. Those virtual educators conference page. So one last thing I would actually like is to acknowledge you guys at EAZY-DIGI for creating this platform. Like, like it was said earlier, it's very nice when you're having that at a local level. But from what I've also learned today is that you're actually experiencing similar problems across the globe. It's not a matter of just me in my locality, you at your locality, but if we come together as a unit and actually solve it globally, it becomes so much easier because we are now showing that there is need internationally, not just here. And to the educators, you are there to guide. So this is a platform whereby you can actually, as a teacher, as an educator, sit down and introspect to see how can I better the learning experience for my students? Because at the end of the day, it's as the teacher is there because of the students. Okay, so it all comes back to the students. So we should find ways of now engaging students and making the learning process one to enjoy.
Yeah, 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 yeah. The one to be enjoyed. The learning experience is the one to be enjoyed. Yeah, thank you
Yes.
for that, Shiamo.
Mm.
Jake, are you still there? Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine.
Okay, great, great, great. So we're going to be wrapping this off in the next few minutes. This has been an awesome time. I'm speaking with you and also speaking with Shiamo on what school should look like, on what should look like. And I like the fact that right now we're saying that we need to have more of these conversations over and over time. We need to have it on a global level. We need to have it where we have kids from all over, speaking and share, giving a feedback on what they think about school and on what school should look like. So, Jake, I'm going to ask you as we're wrapping up right now. So, what one last thing, what one more thing would you like to see, in your school? I know you attend a lovely school, but what one more thing would you like to see as a change, as something new, happening in your school right now?
I would like to see, and honestly, this isn't for my this isn't for my school. Um, I would say I want to see financial. I guess this is for my school, and for all schools around the world. I want to see financial workshops put in place, and this would be this that we. I think our world like really does need this. I think that we look at poverty, the homeless population. I think those two
Mm,
things would go down significantly if we were able to
mm,
educate our young people about finances, how to manage their taxes, all of that kind of stuff in high school. I think that's crucial. I think
mm.
that very little of the schools are doing that today, especially in the U.S. So I think if we could kind of figure that out, figure how to implement that into our everyday curriculum, not only would that help people in college and or in late and in early life, but it would set them up for success for their entire lives, which would in turn create an atmosphere where they can just focus on creating change and not having to worry about finances and all the other
Mm.
stuff that we as kids don't necessarily have to worry about, but as adults, it can seriously be a detriment to your progress if you're always focused on kind of the wrong things. So let's equip our students with the tools they need to succeed, and that definitely does include financial workshops and literacy.
Amazing, amazing financial workshops. Yeah, 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 yeah. I totally agree with you, Jakes, on that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. For that, we've got this, the poverty rate in several places across the globe, and financial literacy, financial workshops, very critical, very crucial. Yeah, thank you for pointing that out. Yeah, great. Yeah, so Shiamo, to you. So tell us what new thing would you like to see in the schools right now?
Well, the one thing I would definitely love to see is, this idea of student-centered learning. You know, I actually want to see more of the students taking charge of the learning more than the teachers, because it's not only about the learning. There are so many things that you grow as a person when you are doing things hands-on. You understand? Um, there's literally no use of teachers coming just pouring and pouring. And they already know that. They should just be there together. So I want a situation whereby the students can sit in that classroom. I can share with this one, I can share with this one, but then we grow. So more of student-based learning. If that I can see, then definitely something will, will be happening.
Yeah, great, 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 great. So more of student-driven learning, more of student-led learning, more of student-paced learning. Yeah, yeah. So many research are pointing to that fact.
Mm.
As what learning should look like. So we'll create an atmosphere where learners are engaged, and then in that kind of atmosphere, anything can happen. There can be discoveries. You know, young people are powerful. Young people, we've got
Yes.
we've got a number of innovators in the schools. They're right now in several schools, and they've got the capacity to create something new, something new, something new. The likes of the top innovators we have in the world right now, they used to be in a school. They once attended a school. They were once in a classroom. And so right now, in the nearest future, in the future to come, 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years, the leading innovators that we would have, they're also currently like right now in a school. They're in a school. So they need the kind of incubation that's going to help them to unleash their innovative skills, to unleash every potential, everything they've got locked up in them. And that's what school should look like. All right, so you guys are amazing and you guys are wonderful. It's been an awesome time, and we're going to be calling it a day here. The recording of the event is available on YouTube, and and you can always watch the replay to see what it looks like. But like I said, I give you my word, we're gonna keep having these conversations over and over and over, even on a larger scale, right? To ensure that learners have the platform, yeah, to hear their voice. Yeah, the voice of the learners must be heard. The voice of the learners must be heard. Another thing again we're currently doing
Yes.
is voice of learners. Voice of learners is a kind of interview series with creative and innovative culture learners. We started that like about I think about 2 months ago. Yeah, so Shiamo knows about that. So we just when we see kids that are doing some creative and innovative stuff, we just interview them. We bring them and say, come and show what you're doing to the world. And so we share what they are doing on our platforms, we share with everyone in our community, we share with every school in our community. We're just trying to let them understand the fact that whatever it is you can do is valuable. So many kids are out there, they have a lot of inspiration, but they feel, who cares? Who cares? I mean, we care. We care. This is something that can become great in the nearest future. So we want to let them know that, see, whatever it is you're doing is important. Don't stop doing it. You're creating something, you're innovating something, you have built something, and all of that, aside the academics and those paperwork. I don't like, there's a shift from paper problems right now to real problems. Whereas so schools are shifting and delving into real problems. So we have many kids that are doing amazing stuff, but they are probably in a school where what they are doing is not celebrated. And then we're saying, no, come on, bring it here. We know the value of this thing you're doing. Don't stop doing it, keep doing it. And that's what we do on the voice of learners. So we're going to keep doing that over and over too. And then we're also going to keep having more and more of this kind of conversation where learners have the opportunity to hear their voice and to speak out and to speak out and to speak out and to speak out. Of course, they have the larger number even than the teachers. The ratio is not comparable. All right, so thank you guys for hearing your voice, for lending your voice, for adding your voice to this conversation. And I'm very sure that there are a number of educators and school administrators and school leaders out there who are going to watch this and pick the things you have said, and also consider that in designing school for the coming school year. Thank you guys. You guys are the best. And we're just going to wrap this up right here. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're the best. Yeah, Shamo, you're the best. Jake, you're the best. Bye for now, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
Bye.
Bye.